Hi everyone, JD back in the van, hope you're well. Right, let's talk curtains then. So as you can see, I've got some fitted in the van now, behind me here. I've still got one more to do on the back door there actually, so we'll do that in a minute together for a closer look. Yeah, it's a bit of a hot topic in the van world, isn't it, curtains? So let me show you how I've gone about making all of these for only 50 quid. Alright, now then, don't get me wrong, I know that you can buy the proper curtains for these vans. I know that they're out there. You know, the ones that usually have a metal track across the top, across the bottom, and the kind of elastic curtains, you know, slide open like that. And I'm sure they're brilliant, but I was a bit hesitant to buy them in the end because, as you've seen on these two windows here, I've raised the bottom section up a tiny bit and created this shelf so you can put things on them, you know. So that's essentially made my window opening slightly smaller than the original van, which is what those curtains are designed for, I imagine. So I just had a feeling they wouldn't fit properly. And also, instead of them opening left to right and stashing away on the sides all the time, I quite like the idea of them rolling up and stashing away at the top if I could. I'd rather go that route. So I guess that's why I didn't buy the proper curtains in the end. So I thought I need to come up with something myself. Alright, so what have I done? Well, one day I was in B&M Home Stores, alright? And I saw that they had loads of blackout curtains for sale. So I thought, right, this will do me. They had a few colours to pick from. So I found this, a charcoal grey blackout curtain. So I thought, right, that looks good to me. They're only £15 each. So I picked two of them up. 30 quid for the full van. Two curtains, 30 quid for the full van. So that was the material figured out. I just needed to know how I was going to fix them into place now. So a bit of searching on eBay and I come up with these. Heavy duty press studs, really good. Get a screw fix in, really nice bite into the van, really strong. I'm really happy with them. And they come in a little box of 20, about £6 I believe. And I needed 3 boxes of them. I've used about 65 press studs in here. So 3 boxes. Alright, so come watch me do the final one on the back door. You'll see what I mean. And then I'll bring you in for a final look and I'll show you them in action. Come on. Alright, so this is the last one I've got to do here on the back doors. So I'll just briefly show you what I'm doing and give you an idea of how I've done it. So I've got 3 poppers in the top ready to start off. 1, 2, 3. So I can hang it. But there's nothing in the curtain yet. So I'm just basically offering it up and doing it one by one as I go. So I'm just going to offer up the corner. So I'll put the first corner popper in, bring it back, stick it in, and then look at the second one, pull it across nice and tight, and then I'll get a mark where the second one needs to be. Take it down again, put the popper in, come back, and then go to the third one, pull it nice and tight, and see where that one wants to be. So you take it on and off quite a lot, but you're doing them one by one, but you end up with quite a nice tight result in the end, which is alright. So yeah, I've got my piece of curtain here, which is way too big than what I need it, but the main thing is I've got a top hem and I've got a side hem here. Now on the left hand side it's just a rough edge on over here. This isn't been sewn properly yet, this is just too long. So I've got a top corner basically, a top and a nice side. So I'll just decide where the first one's going in here and that'll start me off. Yeah, and these are what I'm using. So this is a little kit you get off eBay. Yeah, it's essentially a little screw which goes into the van or whatever you want to stick to. So that gets a really nice bite, which is good. And then you've got these two, which are like the opposite, which go into there. And you get a couple of little tools with them as well. I'll show you how to do it now, it's dead easy. Alright, so here's my curtain here. I've got my mark where I want that to go. So I've just got a piece of MDF behind it because you need to stab a hole right through here. So I've got a sharp tool here, just like a little pointing thing. So I'll put this on there, give it a good whack. Get a nice hole through it. That's good, perfect. And then I'll take one of these, this side, so that's going to pop through there. And that comes out the back. You grab hold of this and that sits in there and protects that, gives you something to hit it against. So that sits in there. Then you grab this little thing that now sits on top of that, what's poking through, like that. And then you take this thing, that sits on there nicely, like that, and that crushes the metal around it and secures it all together, hopefully. So give that a few good taps. Yeah, like that. So that's crushed that down inside, and now that's fixed on there perfectly. That's ready to pop on now. So now I've got my first popper on. I'll go into the corner, pop that on like that, and then that gives me something to start with. So, and then I can pull this across exactly where I want it, in position. I can't go wrong there. So I'll put another one there. I'll do the same, and I'll come across and I'll make sure that one's perfect there on the end. Just doing one by one like that really, and then I'll figure out where the side one needs to be. I'll get my mark on there and just do them nice and tight, one by one. Nice. Alright, now I've got that one on and that bottom one on, like that. Right. So I've got the top and the side now fixed on. That's exactly where it needs to be. So now I'm going to figure out what size this needs to be. I'm going to fold this in and get the correct size this needs to be. Same on the bottom, because it's way too long at the moment. So I'll get an accurate size for that. Yeah, so I've just folded this up and basically just used bits of duct tape underneath, as you can see there. And I've just folded it exactly where I want it to be. So I've got a good size. Same on this side. I know it's just going to tuck into that side, and I want it to just wrap round in the window about an inch or so, a couple of inches. And then that will give me enough room. That will give me enough room just to put the poppers on this side. So I'm happy with that. That's how big it needs to be. Now I've got a size for it. It can be sewn up properly on the left and on the bottom. And then I'll come back again, do the same kind of deal and put them in there and finish off. Okay, right. Yeah, there we have it, looking good. It's all cut to size now. It's been sewn down the left hand side, sewn down the bottom. I've gone ahead and put the poppers in the side here, 1, 2, 3, a couple on the bottom to fix it in place. And let me just show you the tag here. So the tag at the top is just a piece of the material cut to length, and it's just sewn on the back side. So one length of it dangles down the back, the other length will dangle down the front when you put it up like this. So there's one on the front and there's one on the back there. So when you want to roll them up, just take the poppers out, roll it up, and then as you get to the top there, so you've got the one on the back and then you've got the one on the front facing you, and it's just waiting to be tied up like so. Do the other one. Fine. And there we go, all tucked away at the top, out the way. Brilliant. Alright, and there's the other back door ready to go on, same deal. we go. Magic. Alright. Alright, so you've seen me fit that one on the back door now, so you understand what I'm talking about. And yeah, I think you'll agree it's quite an effective way of fitting them on. It's a really strong hold, it's a really nice tight fit. Yeah, and there we have it. It just tucks away at the top when you don't need it during the day. That's kind of what I wanted. I just thought it's better to have all this area open and tuck it away at the top. So that's what I've gone for. And I just took those little corners round when it's down, like that, like that. And yeah, there we have it. Alright, and the cab curtain, it's very similar. A series of press studs across the top, holding it all up. A couple in each side, holding it nice and tight. And it's just been cut to length, so when it goes back, it just tucks down the back there and disappears just slightly. And then usually I kind of just tuck it around the panel here, because I kind of need access to that most of the time. This one's slightly different to the other ones. When you roll it up and tie it off, this one's got Velcro on the top, so it just kind of sticks to itself. I'll show you now. Pull the side ones, pull the side ones. And when you roll it up, there's a piece of material just there with a piece of Velcro on it, and that will just fold round, a bit like doing an umbrella up, you know. That will just fold around and stick together like that. Roll this side up, piece of material there with the Velcro on. Grab hold of it, stick it through, and that will hold on. The same with the other side. Yeah, and there we have it. So it just lives at the top there, out the way, as tight as possible. When I'm driving, I can still see through the rear view mirror, through the back windows there. So that's a good thing. Yeah, and just take it down. It's pretty simple. Undo the tags and just let it drop. Tack them in on the sides. And there we go, back in night mode. So I'm happy with that. I think that's pretty good. Okay then, so there we have it. That's how I've made my van curtains. A full set for only 50 quid. I think that's pretty good going. I'm really happy with how they've turned out in the end. I think they'll work really well. And it's another good job ticked off the list, isn't it? So I'll sign off on that one for now. So thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And I'll see you down the road. Alright.